Hi, my name is Chris Carano, and today I'm excited to talk to you about Venn by 2 Sigma. So when I first landed in California, one of the first things I did was have the California burrito, and it was delicious. In fact, it was so good, I convinced myself it was a perfectly balanced meal. After all, it hits every food group on the food pyramid. But what's the real story? Well, one burrito had 49% of my daily fat and 88% of my daily sodium. It turns out my health decisions were better made by the nutritional label and not the food pyramid. So why am I talking about burritos? Well, at Venn, we believe in finding the nutritional labels for our investments using factor analysis. So take, for example, global high-yield fixed income. This is 100% corporate and emerging market bonds. But we find that 42% of its risk is represented by our equity factor, and only 20% of its risk is represented by our credit factor. So what type of data do we need to conduct this type of factor analysis on managers or portfolios? Just returns. Hedge funds, other alternatives, even digital assets. If we have the returns, or you upload your own, then analysis can help you win more clients. Now, let's take an actual look at the platform, starting with a hypothetical prospective client, John Smith. So as you can see, I created a new, more diversified proposed portfolio for my upcoming meeting with John, and I set his current portfolio as my benchmark. Now let's see what's driving the return of my proposed portfolio. If we look at return contribution, we can get a detailed breakdown of where that return's coming from, including at the strategy level. And I can conduct this same analysis for every metric I show here, including sourcing volatility and risk-adjusted returns. Now, John specifically wanted a digital asset sleeve, so I can conduct analysis on that sleeve of the portfolio all by itself. Now, as you can see, there are various other performance and risk metrics that we can review, including downloadable and customizable graphics. So say goodbye to those weekly Excel workflows. Now, when it comes to factor analysis or the nutritional label, we can see which factors John has exposure to and how they drive risk and return. For example, these are the managers that are most impactful for the overall value exposure of John's portfolio. We can also look at factor data over rolling periods. Factor analysis over time can be especially important when evaluating individual managers, understanding things such as how they respond to market shocks, style drift, and even whether or not their potential alpha has faded over time. We can also stress test and conduct scenario analysis on John's portfolio. For example, what might happen if there was a shock to inflation. And I can easily share this with members of my team. And speaking of sharing, everything I've talked about today can be easily shared in our highly customizable report lab, resulting in an external PDF with your firm's logo. Now, for my upcoming meeting with John, I want to talk about year-to-date performance and the potential benefits of my added alternative sleeve to mitigate downside. I also want to talk about factor analysis with John, or what's driving his risk and return, and also how my suggested portfolio might be better fit for his long-term financial goals. And finally, I want to review the risks of John's digital asset sleeve with him, going over things like the historical drawdowns of Bitcoin and Ethereum, return distributions, as well as letting John know that Bitcoin and equity correlations have been rising over time. This can help emphasize the need for diversification and the benefits of that alternative sleeve. So that's Venn in 5 minutes. It's 2 Sigma's quantitative, institutional level factor analysis that your audience can understand. It's a simple and intuitive UI where you can easily share and manage data. And then finally, it's a tool to create clean and customizable reports to help you tell your investment narrative. And of course, it's a way to really tell what's in that California burrito. Thank you.